Namaste. My name is Jule and I'm here with Anchorage Yoga and Cycle. Today I'm walking us through the Ashtanga Yoga Primary Standing Series. What I love about this series is that it's the same every time. I know that when I got into my first years of home practice, I would be doing yoga and wonder like, oh, what should I do now? Now what? What's great about the Ashtanga practice is that it's the same every time. So you memorize the series, you gain a familiarity with it, and you kind of take out the guesswork in wondering what to do next. In today's series, I'm going to walk us through one sun salutation, Surya Namaskar A, followed by the entire standing primary series. I have today with me two blocks, these props. You'll see me use them in some of the standing poses. You may or may not want props. If you don't have yoga blocks at home, that's fine. You can do without, or if you would like to modify and use what's already in your kitchen, if you actually take like a cooking pot that holds water and turn it upside down, that can actually be something stable that you put your hand on instead of a yoga prop. As we get started, I'll ask you to tap into your breath. What that looks like is breathing in and out through the nose. And fully, completely. Inhaling to stand tall, to find length in your spine. Exhaling to maintain that length and soften and relax your face, your shoulders, your jaw. This practice engages and uses the Ujjayi breath, the Ujjayi sound, that slight constriction of the epiglottis as you inhale and exhale out of the nose. Whatever breath you use today, see that it's smooth, steady, easy, and calm. Just as important as the postures is the quality of the breath. Starting standing at the front of your mat, allowing your big toes to touch, bringing your hands at the side of the body, pausing, noticing your feet here. As you inhale, let the arms rise overhead, gaze up. As you exhale, dive down, forward fold. Relax through the head and the neck. Inhale, lift up halfway for length, gaze forward. Step both feet back into plank pose. As you exhale, chaturanga. You can always place the knees down on the earth. As you inhale, upward facing dog. As you exhale, roll over the tops of your feet. Breathe 5 rounds of breath in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, with the feet about hip width apart, the arms slightly wider than the shoulders externally rotated and abdomen engaged. With your next inhalation, step your right, followed by your left foot forward, lifting halfway for length when you breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, feet ground, arms rise, gaze follows. Exhale, hands at heart center. Release the hands to the side. We'll do 2 more. Inhaling, arms rise. Aiming for 1 breath per movement, exhaling, dive down, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway for length. Step the feet back, plank pose. Slowly lowering, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, 5 breaths in downward facing dog. If downward facing dog doesn't resonate in your body today, child's pose. With the knees down on the ground, big toes touching, is a great modification.
With your next inhalation, step right foot, followed by left foot forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms rise.
Exhale, hands at heart center, and then at your side. Third final, inhaling, arms rise. Exhaling, forward fold.
Inhale, rise halfway. Feet back, plank pose. Exhaling to slowly lower.
Inhaling, upward dog.
Exhaling, 5 Ujjayi breaths in downward facing dog. Inhaling, right foot, left foot forward, lifting halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise,
Gaze follows. Exhale, hands at heart center, and then at the sides. Bring the hands to the hips, heel toe the feet so they're hip width apart. With a breath in, elbows draw back, heart opens. Exhale, dive down, forward fold.
Peace fingers clasp around the big toes. Peace finger grip. If you need to bend the knees, you can bend the knees to make this accessible. With a breath in, lift up halfway again, find length in your spine. As you exhale, relax through the head and the neck, the crown falls towards the earth. Elbows splay out towards the sides. Shoulder blades draw down the back away from the ears. And here you watch 5 Ujjayi breaths, fully in and fully out. With your next inhalation, lift up halfway for length while keeping a hold of the toes, gaze forward. Exhale, second set, Padangusthasana. You can put the entire hand under the foot for Padangusthasana. Inhaling to lift up halfway, exhaling to bend through the elbows, hinge at the hips, relax the head and the neck. And watch 5 breaths. If this posture isn't accessible or doesn't resonate, holding on to the big toes or even holding on to the shins behind you is a great modification. And check the shoulders. If they fall towards the ears, relax them down the back. Releasing the hands, bringing them to the hips,
Grounding through the feet as you rise back into standing. You can heel toe the feet so the big toes touch, heels slightly apart. With an inhalation, draw the right foot back, rotate the right toes to the back of your mat. Left foot comes in 85 degrees for triangle pose. My front heel is in line with my back arch. Here I hinge from the hips, trying to stack shoulders over that extended right leg. You can bring the earth closer to you, placing a block on the inside of the foot. Left arm extends up to the sky, shoulders relax down the back. Drishti or gaze is up at the hand for 5 breaths.
engaging the core, rising up. All you do is rotate your feet here. Right foot rotates in at 85 degrees, left toes face the front of the mat. And when you're ready, hinging from the hips, finding Trikonasana, with or without the block on your second side. If this ever hurts the left knee, feel free to micro bend this knee. See that the kneecap tries not to rotate in, but stays out. With an inhalation, engaging the core, rising, rotating through the feet, facing the back of the mat. Pavriti Trikonasana, revolve triangle. Here my feet are hip width apart. The back left foot's at a 45-degree angle. Front foot faces the back of the mat. Squaring the hips, lifting the left arm, finding length in the spine. As you exhale, invite that right hip to stay back in line with the left. Left hand can land on the block. See that your spine tries to stay straight and strong. Hips in line with each other. If you'd like to pavriti or revolve, the block can come on the outside of the right foot. Right arm can extend up towards the sky. If you're practicing without a block or prop today, you can bring the hand towards the earth. 5 Ujjayi breaths. As you exhale, unwind. Cartwheel, open to the front of the mat. Feet hip width apart, finding length, lifting through right arm. Hinging, extending through hips. Drawing that right arm either down to the ground, the block, or on the outside of the left foot. Exhaling to unwind. Palms together, rising back up. Bringing the right foot forward to meet the left, hands at heart center. Hands come to the hips. Warrior 2. Inhaling, floating the right foot back. In Warrior 2 stance, the knee is over the ankle. And again, that front heel is in line with that back arch. Back foot's in at about 85 degrees. Extending through the arms. With an exhalation, hinge from the hips. Right hand can either rest on the block, your prop, or the earth on the outside of the right foot. Left arm extends up to the sky, shoulders stack. Left pinky rotates down towards the back of your mat. 5 Ujjayi breaths here. With an inhalation, cartwheel arms up, straightening through right leg, coming into Warrior 2, facing the front of your mat. With an exhalation, hinging from the hips, Parsva Konasana, second side. Deep breaths in fully and out completely. Meditation in action. Watching the breath move in and out of the body. Cartwheeling up, straightening the leg, rotating to the back of your mat through Warrior 1 stance. Again, bending through the right knee, knees over ankle. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. My feet are hip width apart. Establishing yourself here. If this hurts the left knee, feel free to come up onto the left toe box. With an exhalation, invite a twist. Twisting over to the right, hooking if you can, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. If this isn't accessible for you today, placing the left hand down on the ground and right arm up to the sky is a great modification. If you're working a deeper twist, the left hand can come down to the block or the floor, but again, hands at heart center is just fine. In this pose, really get the Ujjayi breath going. Your diaphragm moves up and down. Gently massaging your visceral organs, increasing your digestion, your body's natural ability to detox. With an exhalation, unwind, rise up, straighten the leg, rotate to the front of the mat, setting yourself up for warrior one, second side. Big breath in to find length, big breath out, completely exhale as you find your twist. With an exhalation, unwind. With an inhalation, rise back into warrior one. Float it all back together. Big toes touch, hands at heart center. Or this side. Wide-legged forward fold. Extend the right foot back. Rotate. All 10 of your toes in slightly, heels out. This is important. With a wide stance, you can hold on to your pelvis. An in breath, lift the heart up. With an out breath, it's as if you're pouring your pelvic bowl down towards the earth. Releasing the hands down to the earth, creating a tripod. I'm bending at the elbows, letting my head and my neck relax. The elbows splay out to the side, invite them in. It's like you're making two 90-degree angles. And watch 5 breaths here. If all the weight's sinking into your heels, see if you can distribute your weight with the front and the back part of your foot. With an inhalation, lift up halfway for length. Send the hands to the hips. Slowly rise up standing. We do 3 more sets of this fold. Next set, hands stay on the hips. Big breath in, heart lifts. Full breath out, pouring the pelvis down. 5 breaths here in the fold, relaxing through the head and the neck. Drawing the elbows back, shoulders down the spine. Every exhalation is an opportunity to possibly fold a little bit deeper, never by force, but by that outgoing breath. And with your next inhalation, really strong through the feet and the legs. As you rise back up into standing, it's almost as if your feet are gripping into the mat. 3rd set, interlacing the fingers behind you, opening through the chest. If that's not in your range of motion today, grab towards opposite elbows. Lifting with the breath in, diving down with the breath out. Watching 5 Ujjayi sounds here. Releasing the hands down to the earth. Inhaling to lift up halfway for length. Exhaling hands towards the hips.
slowly rising into standing. Fourth and final set, Prasarita Padottanasana. Arms extend out to the side. As you exhale, peace finger grip, clasps around the big toes. And lift up halfway for length. As you exhale, bending at the elbows. Relaxing head and neck. And again, check the shoulders if they fall down towards the head and the neck. Instead, invite them down the spine as the elbows bend out to the side. Watching where 5 Ujjayi breaths take you. Next inhalation, keep hold of the toes as you lift up halfway. Exhale, hands at hips. Inhale, slowly rise. Float it all back to the front of the mat. Big toes touch. Hands at heart center. For the next pose, we take reverse Anjali Mudra. Whoa, right? Reverse prayer. Scooching the arms up behind the back. If that's not in your range of motion today, don't worry about it. You can grab onto opposite elbows. But see here that you're not caving and collapsing forward in the chest, that you're instead bringing the head of the humerus back. Float the right foot back. Rotate to the back of the mat. My right leg is straight. So is the left. It's at 45-degree angle. Big breath in, press through the feet, lift through the heart. As you exhale, diving down, forward fold. Almost as if you're bringing your chin towards your shin, drawing the right hip back. The drishti, your gaze, can be at the big toe. Watching 5 breaths here. Pressing both feet equally into the mat. Oftentimes there's a tendency to give all of our body weight into the front right leg. But instead, activate the left leg and see if you can distribute your weight over both feet equally, evenly. With an inhalation, feet ground, torso rises, rotating to the front of the mat. Same idea, second side. Breath in, heart lifts. Breath out, active through the legs. Long, relax through the spine. Relax through the head and the neck. Oftentimes we tend to crank the chin or crank the head and neck up. Relaxing it completely, drawing the knee or the chin towards the knee. With a breath in, feet ground, torso rises. Bring it all back together, big toes touching, hands at heart. One-legged balancing series. Udita Hasta Padangustasana. It's a mouthful of Sanskrit for you. It's the extended big toe hold. What I'm walking us through is the full variation. Modifications today, if you're not grabbing your big toe, are to instead grab the knee. This is a great place to be. If you have a strap at home, you can wrap a strap or even a sock or some article of clothing around the foot if the big toe isn't accessible. Be mindful of your hips, however, in this pose. Oftentimes, we tend to tilt radically the pelvis. Instead, see if you can keep the iliac crest, the top part of the pelvis, the right and the left in line with each other. Starting with the right side, so grounding left foot into the mat, stacking the shoulders over the hips, engage the abdomen as you lift the right leg, reach down to grab the big toe, placing my left hand on my hip. Find your drishti, your meditative gaze, fix your eyes on one point. If you feel steady, stable, balanced, maybe today you extend the leg. But wherever you're at, watching 5 breaths here. After 5 breaths, maybe extending the leg to the side. Whoa. Again, you don't need to extend all the way. You can keep the knee bent or knee held. Maybe even taking your drishti over to the left. After 5, slowly bringing it back. Maybe give your knee a little bow. Here's where we build our willpower. Lose the hold, but keep the lift for 5, 4, you guys are strong. 3, keep smiling. 2, 1, bring it down. Woo. Rest and reground with both feet on the earth. Find your breath if you lost it. Before you start your second side, grounding into right foot, engaging the core, grabbing big toe over the knee, watching 5 Ujjayi breaths. Maybe extending to the side. Bringing it all back to the center. Giving your leg a little bow. Releasing the hold, but keep the lift. Level through the pelvis. 5, keep the shoulders over the hips. 4, 3, maybe smile. 2, 1, bringing it down. Rest and reground. Vrikshasana, tree pose. Oftentimes in this series you see a Ardha Baddha, which is a half-bound Padmasana, lotus pose. If you can safely take half lotus, when I mean safe, I mean there is no knee pain whatsoever. The knee is a hinge joint, where the hip is a ball and socket joint, so the rotation needs to come from the hip, not from the knee. If holding this feels sustainable and pain-free, you can practice here. If not, any variation of tree, externally rotating the hip, the foot can be in towards the heel, towards the groin, the foot can be on the shin, the foot can even be on the ankle, but try not to have the foot on the knee. You don't want to bring in any sideways pressure. So finding that place where you're at today, and observing, watching 5 Ujjayi breaths here. If you're playing with the deeper variation with half-bound lotus, you might be working here today. If you're working the full posture, the right arm sneaks around, grabs on to the big toe, left hand towards the earth. Whatever variation of tree you're in, slowly coming out. Re-rooting, re-grounding, bringing both feet into the mat. Re-establishing your breath before you begin your second side. So again, lifting left leg up into any variation of tree or half-bound lotus pose with a fold. Slowly releasing. Regrounding both feet into the earth and finding your breath again. And coming back to the front of your mat if you left it. A few more poses before we close. Utkatasana, chair pose. Big toes touch, heels apart. Bend through the knees, sit the seat down. Extend through the arms. There's some duality as the arms extend, the seat lowers. See if you can tuck the low ribs in, trying not to arch or banana through the back. With an exhalation, straighten through the legs, dive down, forward fold. Here we take a vinyasa. Inhaling to lift halfway for length. Step the feet back, plank pose. Exhaling to lower, chaturanga. Inhaling to rise, urdhva, upward dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, step the right foot forward. Warrior one, facing the front of your mat. Knee over ankle, arms rise. 5 Ujjayi breaths here. With an inhalation, straighten through the right leg. Rotate to the back of the mat, setting yourself up for warrior one, second side. Check the shoulders here. Oftentimes we tend to reach forward. Do your best to keep the shoulders over the hips. Ribs, invite them down. Drishti, forward, face and jaw relaxed. Coming into an open leg stance. Final standing pose, warrior two. So you can move that left heel so it's in line with the right arch. Bringing the back foot in about 85 degrees. When I say open hip stance, my hips are no longer facing either, they're facing the back of the mat. Instead, they're opening to the side. And again, bringing the knee over the ankle. You should just barely be able to see that left big toe. Extending the arms out. And seeing where you're at in time and space, right? Try not to be super far forward or super far back, but inviting the shoulders over the hips. If you were to drop something, it would land on your ankles. After 5 breaths, straighten through left leg. Rotate back to the front of the mat. Hips are open, heel to arch alignment, warrior two. With an exhalation, cartwheel hands down, framing the front foot. Stepping front foot back into plank. Last vinyasa, lowering chaturanga. Inhaling upward dog. Exhaling downward dog. 5 breaths here. If you have any downward dog business you need to tend to, like bending into the knees, shaking the hips, lifting one leg at a time, bending the knee and stacking through the hip, taking a few moments here. Before bending the knees and coming into child's pose, knees wide, big toes touch, sinking the hips back, the arms extend, forehead rests on the mat. You can hinge at the elbows Bringing your thumbs at the base of your skull, pausing, honoring your practice. Gently rising. I know this can be hard in general, especially with the home practice, but giving yourself a few minutes of Shavasana. Shavasana allows the body to almost like download the experience you gave it. All the moving and breathing and effort that you practiced during this standing series. Good job, by the way. Allowing yourself to kind of let it sink in, to absorb it. My teacher would say, we are human beings, not human doings, right? So allowing yourself a few minutes to simply be. Letting the feet splay out wide at the side, allowing the palms to rest, relax, facing up. If it feels more comfortable to have a hand on your belly or your heart, feel free. If this doesn't feel good on your low back, you can always bend the knees. If you have a couch or you're in your living room, you can even place your knees like up on the piece of furniture. And allowing yourself a few moments to feel comfortable before you completely relax, surrender, let go. If any thoughts try to come in, acknowledge them and then let them go out. Merely observing the rise and the fall of the breath. Not needing to manipulate it, but simply observing it as is. Just like we observe the breath in this moment, in and out. We observe our bodies in this moment, calm and relaxed. And for a few minutes today, observe the thoughts. So watching them come in, watching them go out, just like you watch TV. And you watch the visions, the impressions, and then you wait for the next one and let that go out.